only touch greatness.
What up, though, world? You know who it is. And if you don't, stop acting like you don't know. It's Capo Cashis, a.k.a. Cashis, man. You remember me, man. Shady Capo. Bogus brand. That's how we doing it right now for the 2023. And I'm coming up next on this episode of I Only Touch Greats. Stay tuned. Let's get it.
You know you acting like you don't know. I tell the club up for show. This flow is gon' bring more dough. You know but you acting like you don't know. I say you know you acting like you don't know. I tell the club up for show. This flow is gon' bring more dough. You know but you acting like you don't know.
Pistol play, ricochet, see where the victim like. Slumped over, bleeding, JFK. HK to your chest plate, cave, I will ride to the death. Do you rep that way? Forever I'ma be a Shady 7-4 gangster. Plus I survive everything you got in that chamber. I thrive off the danger, jumping it all beat. You keep talking shit, now the squad call me.
Remember back in the days, I was running the scene and I was on my dough. And now I'm back in the race, spectacular pace, the mic on now, so remember back in the days, I was running the scene and I was on my dough. And now I'm back in the race, spectacular pace, the mic on now, so OG, no OE. In the sleeve, hold the 4 feet. Riding around in the worst spot, seen at a slow speed. More whips than Toby, go low cheese. Cuz know me, my blood run deep. Like my big black shake free. Slow police, I'm all-star MVP. More than Mike, it's Kobe. It ain't over, nah. First took it over, I'ma do it again. Even though I'm never sober, I'm the truest there is. I'm positioning the coach and now shoe in the wind. They can't do what I do with my pen. Hey, at first I took it over, I'ma do it again. Even though I'm never sober, I'm the truest there is. I'm positioning the coach and now shoe in the wind. They can't do what I do with my pen. Hey, I was raised over smokers in the background, so I ain't got a choice but to be strapped now. And never back down if a sucker act wild. I will clap crowds, I'm ready to snap.
You're tuning into My Only Touch Greatness podcast, Vancouver's best show with Ryan Hayes.
Often imitated but never duplicated. I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes.
What up, though? What's happening?
What's poppin', man?
Yo, it's hey, I ain't gonna lie. This is one of my dreams because you've been with a person that saved my life, man. So like for real, like with hip hop and all this, like for real, and just seeing you coming off that tree, man. I remember when You Don't Know came out, like I was damn to go get that CD, and that's why I got the CD right here with me. You know
that's
what I mean?
What I'm talking about.
For real though. So blessings to you, man. For real. This is one off of our bucket list.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate being here, man. That's tight, man. So you say I'm saving your life, man?
Yeah, all y'all did, man, for real. Because at the end of the day, like I wouldn't do what I do right now if it wasn't for all y'all, man, on that Shady Camp, man, for real. So
man, that's tight, dog. That's big, man. I appreciate that, man. That's a big honor.
So that's Prince Allen in Kansas City.
Royale.
He goes by Royale.
Yeah, Royale. Royalty Rules 816, you know what I'm saying? But new name is Royale, man. So yeah,
that's what's up, man. I got family in the 816, you know.
Okay, I bet. That's love, man, for real.
and then I'm Ryan. I'm the one that's been texting with you up here in Vancouver.
What up, though, bro? What up, though, man? Good, we finally got on. You feel me?
Yeah, that's good. I know we've been trying so hard to get this to work, and our times finally hit at the same time, so that works.
We're so.
Born in Chicago, when did you move to California?
I came to California when I was like 16, and then I got kicked out of school because I got kicked out of schools in Chicago. Then my mom tried to get me out to California, and then I came out there and like some shit happened at school with somebody got shot in the thing. So then I got kicked out of the schools while I was at over there, and then I went back home for a while, and then I came back like a couple of years later and just stayed in California pretty much. I mean, I go back and forth. I ain't gonna lie. I like to go back home a lot, but my main residence is definitely in California.
Okay. And growing up, did you play any sports or anything, or what?
Yeah, I played baseball. I got a whole bunch. I was like in the paper with baseball and stuff like that. I played football, and basketball too. I was pretty good at basketball. That's what I thought I was gonna do. I thought I was gonna be something in sports for real for a little bit.
And what made you fall in love with music, and when did you start taking it seriously?
Well, I always liked music. I used to could just as a kid, I would just hear a song and I would just remember it, so everybody would have me like, oh, this song came on, like, because my name Ramon, so they'd be like, hey, Ramon, check this out, rap this song that was just on the radio, and I'd just be able to just memorize people's stuff and make it sound like how the artist sounded. So then my brother, he said, man, you gonna be a rapper. And I was like, what? And he's like, watch, you gonna be a rapper. And I was like, that wasn't even what I was on. And after he said that, that put that in my mind, and then when he got killed, then that became my journey,
Here, one more, and then I'll pass back to Prince. Regarded as the first to rep Orange County, can you tell us about how did you meet Dart Parker?
Dart was the A&R that signed me over at Shady. He was he believed in me. He flew out to California, you know what I mean? I went out there first and he flew out a couple of times and he really just believed in it. And yeah, and as far as OC, that's where I first came from California. I came to California, I was living in LA. But it's a bunch of people that represent LA and a lot of people from other places come and they just latch on and represent LA. So I came down, my mother was living in Orange County, and when I came down to OC, I was like, it'll be even crazier for me to make it coming from a place where they don't think people would like that, But I'm from Chicago, so that was the difference. So when people actually came across me, they came across somebody from the Midwest, So that's where that respect came from. And now you got other artists getting signed from Orange County all because of that,
For sure. Prince, go ahead, bud.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just glad to even talk about this, man. Coming from, from Cali and then coming, from the Mecca, Chicago, like, what was one of your favorite songs, like, that you can remember as a kid that you'd be like, yo, this is why I love hip hop?
Let's see. What's a song as a kid? That's a good one. It was a bunch of songs. If I go from California, I'm gonna have to go with some of Doggy Style, like the Shiznit. It like that shit blew my mind. Like as a kid, I'm like, and he's like, he's freestyling that, and I'm like, that's crazy. And something from the crib, it would have to be Twister, but also Common, the Resurrection CD. The whole Resurrection, like that made me really understand what hip hop was about for me. Like he broke down all the different things, and he was coming from where I was coming from, but he wasn't even kicking it gangster, but his lifestyle was like gangbang. So that showed me like you could be one way but do music a different way. So I think that's what really made me fall in love with is the Resurrection album. That was it for me right there.
Yeah, that's hard because everybody forgets about how Resurrection album was. That Resurrection was go for real.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like round 04, you know what I'm saying? You about to get signed, you know what I mean? From Shady. Like, how was it like, how was your first, meeting with him? Like, how was it like, was you like, oh shit, this boy just came out of nowhere?
It's Eminem, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
right.
I'm just like everybody else. I'm like, like, damn. And at that point, M was like at his peak, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, yeah, this is what's up. So I was more, I felt grateful, like, man, like, like no matter what, I felt like I had arrived. Like, all right, now I'm in the spot where I earned the respect where I'm supposed to be at. So meeting M, and then the first day I saw him, I did 7 songs. And he was like, man, all these songs is crazy. Like, he couldn't believe it. And then we just stayed in the studio for mad longer, and then we just started doing more songs. So, like, my first time meeting him was like, it exceeded my expectations. You know what I mean? Because I was nervous at first. Nobody smoked in his studio but me. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta do my thing. Like, and he's like, man, go ahead and let Cashis do his thing. And I went in there and, you know, smoked and did all these songs. And like a couple of, like, the next time I came out, I did You Don't Know. You know what I mean? It went just like that. Like, it was crazy, man. It was a great feeling with him. Straight up.
Right. How was it even just, you know, y'all's chemistry on working on You Don't Know? And how was it like you put the man himself, like how was his ethics like in the studio? Like what was some of his, you know, some of you be like, yo, that's crazy, like over the head.
What's something he taught you?
Just don't take it too serious. Go with the flow. Don't take it too serious. Because the first day I did all these songs and I didn't know if he liked the songs or not. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, man, am I doing this like too street? Should I be attacking it from a different approach? And I wrote a letter and put it in the studio room. And I guess because he leaves the studio at a certain time, he treated it like a job. He come in and then he don't stay later, whatever is undone, that's it. So he'd come back to it the next day. Well, I would stay in the studio all day and all night, like I'm just gonna work. So I stayed later. And then the next day he hit me like, yo, them songs was crazy. Like, them shits blew my mind. Like, nah, you good. Like, I don't need to tell you what to do. Just do what you do. I just like what you do. And don't worry about it. You don't have to do a million songs. Just do whatever you feel that's gonna come out right, and it's gonna come out right like it's doing. And that removed all pressure from me until this day from going into a studio, because all I have to do is just do what I naturally feel. Like that was the best thing I think that someone on that level could tell any artist, because I could write a song like Eminem, and that don't mean that it's gonna impact the same way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody's style is different and unique, but if you just express your true self, it's gonna come out. And you know, and having somebody like that believe in you, dog, I mean, think I could do anything, man. You know, I could probably fly. You know what I'm saying? At that point, for real, you know.
Right.
The Country Hound album you had, that was pretty much produced by M, wasn't it?
Yeah. County House produced by M. My boy Rick Nadi and them, and Basics and Keno and Ron Browse did something on there, but the majority of it, was him. Like he really locked in with it, you know.
But what led to your decision then to in 2012 when I think you guys walked away?
Yeah, because I wanted to release music, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and at that point, it was just it was a struggle, like a personal struggle, you know. Like I used to. Before the era became cool, like I was like for real, like a pill head dude, like 100 Xanax, 100 Valiums, like his documented people, like they ain't nothing to brag about, because somebody could probably die trying to play like how I was playing it. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't as interested in the music as I should have been. Like I was doing all these songs and they were coming out dope, but I didn't want to promote them. Like we had a great record, Jimmy Iovine picked. High Speeds, M did the beat. It would have been, they had it all set up to go to movies, go do all this, but you know, I wasn't in the right place mentally. So
you stayed on as a writer though.
Yeah, always. Yeah. I didn't think I wanted to do like actual recordings, you know what I mean, for a while. So it didn't make any sense for me to stay like just dropping projects, you know?
Right. And you know, I like to just talking about County Hound, because when I heard Lack Motion, because you was one of the first ones whenever Shady 45 was premiering like audition shit, like that song came on. Like I wasn't like having that as the lead single. Like I used to love that fucking single. Like I still play it to this day. Like all the gyms that have, like how was it, you know what I'm saying, doing the Lack Motion? And tell us a little bit of M, you know what I'm saying, producing that, because he produced that track, didn't he?
Oh, for sure. Like that was like one of the first batch of beats that he had made for me. And he was just like, okay, I'm gonna see what you can make of it if you feel anything. And then I just went through them all. And he was like that's crazy. And we was just sitting there going to the beat. And he's like, dog, you matched it perfectly. Then he added, then I walked off. And then when I came back, it was like different things added to it. Like that's one thing about him. You'll do a record and you'll keep coming back and that record is like 100 times better. So I can't even remember what it sounded like originally. I just remember how dope it sounded at the end. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and he was just in his vibe and making a West Coast beat. And, you know, he did it. He did the damn thing on that shit. That shit was hard. I still get love performing that song today. You know what I mean? That's a good record.
Right. That's one of the records that I can always say, like, especially like I feel like that's a Shade 45 classic. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's whenever, you know, Burn Cities was out. Everybody was like, yo, we need to find this because especially Cash is the fucking the County Hound. Like, I wanted that EP so fucking bad. I couldn't find it. And I used to be pissed. So whenever I'd be like, man, shit, let me see if I can get that Cashis because remind you, man, it was around that time, you know what I'm saying? Obi Trice was still buzzing, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, Stack Crow, we still worrying about like what the hell was going with Stack Crow. Like we was still we was so amped to find out. And then when we found out you was coming on, like we was like, yo, like a little bit about the fucking You Don't Know video. Like how any memory, any moment with that video, like behind the photo shoot?
Great video.
That was one of the best experiences of my life, man. You don't know.
And you hold your own too. You hold your own, like with all them. Like, how was it working with all them people, like 50 and Lloyd Banks?
That was great, man. And to get their respect, that was great. Like I did 4 verses for You Don't Know. And the first one I did is the one M Pitt. He's like, oh, this is go. And I'm like, you sure? And he's like, yeah. And the fifth was like, oh yeah, this it right here. And then Banks came in and then did his thing. Then Yayo was on there too. Yayo was in the background.
Yeah, Yayo. Shout out to Yayo. Right.
It was a dope ass experience, man. Just vibing in the studio, chilling with everybody. And that's when I remember Yayo was looking at Banks and he was like, hey, yo, man, Cash smoke. He smoked like Buck. And then I kept on doing it. So we were sitting there and then he was like, nah, he smoked like Snoop. He's like, this dude smoked for real. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, everybody know about that. I'm like, ask Snoop. Everybody know about that. I get down with it, you know.
Right, man.
The video we did. The video same day as the video. They had the whole thing. I think Cypher Sounds was doing it. Like we had like the MTV. We had so it was behind the scenes. Daz was there. Trick. It was a whole bunch of people, you know, and it was just interviews in and out, hosting TV shows and hosting countdowns, and then going to BET and then coming back. It was. That was like one of the cold. That was the first time that I did that, and you know that's the first time I got starstruck by seeing all these different people. You walking in hallways and they go Jay-Z, and they go, you know what I'm saying? And then the later up end up on a song with M50, Dre, Jay-Z, and Stat. You know what I'm saying? Like those moments were things I could never replace. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm dropping stuff right now. That's why I'm pushing hard because. That was real, man. That I remember that. You know what I'm saying? That zapped me back to reality of what I'm supposed to be doing, you know?
Right. And speaking of Jay-Z, like how was it you got to see Jay? Like how was it just even getting to, you know, see Jay-Z? Did you ever talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to Jay, man. It was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like at that point, I remember I did a lot of like feels and shit. So my emotions was always glazed. Like I was always just like, cool. I never could be too up or too down. It was just always like whatever, you know. So, but it was cool to be around Jay, to see Jay, to watch how he moved, you know, and stuff like that. But I wasn't gonna be like a groupie or nothing because I felt like I was learning from another goat. You know what I'm saying? I got M right here and I got Fifth right here. I had 2 goats and I can just go run up and talk to Drake. You know what I'm saying? So I can get my information from them and I could be a fan of Jay as I am. I can listen to him and just appreciate the lyrics and all that. But the path that I'm marking, I want to go with my path with the Shady's Unit Aftermath path. That's my family. So I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna get my advice from those guys.
Right.
Yeah, and you also worked you also worked with Rick Ross, like the,
Oh yeah,
and then also K Young and K Young Game.
Yeah, K Young, that's my boy, man. Me and K Young go do a whole EP song. We was talking about working on something like that. That's gonna be called Get Some Game. Ross saw them. Yeah, did a lot of songs.
The K Young I've been a big fan of for years, even before he ever got on Eminem stuff, because he was coming up through the Crooked Eye camp.
Exactly. That's where I met him at that's how I met him at from Crook and all them. Yep. Yeah.
Speaking of Crook, man, you just passed me one, and I used to love this song to death. I can't wait to talk about Clear the Area with you, Crooked Eye, King Crook. Shout out to King Crook. We had him on the show. Yes, and Royce the 5'9". Shout out to Royce because I got to talk to him on ADHD with Trap.
Nice.
What was it like with them lyrical MCs and holding your own? Oh, yeah, and Denver too. Yeah. Like, how was it working with these lyrical MCs like King Crook and fucking Royce? You know, shout out to Nickel. Like, how was it, working on that Clear the Area? Because I meant to ask him about that too. Like, that's one of my favorite songs.
It was a dope experience. Like, Crooked, I known Crooked since I first came out to California, when he was with Death Row, and I used to go up there, and I used to hang out around like Suge and around them. So I knew Crooked, and I would always just be like rapping Crooked lyrics. I always tell him like he had this rapper like to tell him the West Coast ain't shit without Crooked lines. Like, so I would always rap there, and he'd be like, man, we always dap up. And he didn't even know I rap. I was just the homie that was around, like the street homie. He knew I was like a bad little kid that was around him. You know what I'm saying? But but then later on, we went in and I went into the studio where he was at when he had the label he was on. And he like, "This you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." You know what I'm saying? Same thing with my boy Corrupt. He just knew me as Ramon. That's my rap idol. If I had to have a rap idol, it would be Corrupt. You know what I'm saying? And when I seen him, like, I knew him Corrupt this whole time, and then he didn't even know. Like, he knew I could rap, and he knew I was that's why he's like, man, I'm his little slaughterer. You know what I'm saying? We cut people's heads off on the mic.
Right.
But he didn't know I turned into Cashis. You know what I mean? So that's when he seen me. He's like, dang, he was on that Homeland Security project too. But that Clear the Area, that was wrong. My boy Rick and I did the beat. It was for Young D and I had a group called Homeland Security, so we was putting out this project of bringing everybody together. And we pretty much started Slaughterhouse because that was the first time Crook and Royce had did something together, and that sparked that up right there.
No shit.
And then doing that put Royce and M kind of back in conversation because it was like that was a whole
they was beefing. I remember Death is Certain. Yeah, they was beefing.
It was political play because I came into it late, and then I heard about it. And then when I got down on Royce about it, and then Royce was like, woo, 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 like, he wasn't tripping because I was riding for, one of them little soldiers. And then once I seen it was something that was a little bit older, that's why I'm like, oh, all right, cool. My bad. I ain't even tripping. If y'all go get it straight, y'all get it straight. And then Royce like, man, let's do this record. So I'm like, I got a cold ass record. He like, let's do this record so it'll be cool. And that shit was it. And we've been super solid ever since. I consider Royce one of my comrades, and Crooked, like, it's one of my homeboys, like, Crooked.
Right. I mean, I was about to ask too, because on that sample.
I feel on somebody for Crooked, man. That's my homeboy.
Right. I feel you. I feel you. Yo, I wanted to say this too. That sample off of fucking Clear the Area. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck that was. Like, that motherfucker was so different.
My boy Rick and Nadi, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what got me rapping. Like, he was a rapper making, and I got him making beats. I'm like, man, you can make beats, dog. You can be DJing, you can do all that. He learned how to make beats. He taught himself how to do beats. And I just took over the rapping, but he did that. That boy come with the coldest samples, and he make them shit bang, man. For real.
Right. That's crazy because you got like two with Nickel. Like, how is it just, fucking with Nickel like that, bro? Like, and shout out to him, man. Like, I tell people, like, he's one of my favorites. Him, all y'all, like, y'all didn't miss, really. Like, it just came in, like, at the bad moment, you know what I'm saying? Because, M was going through it with Proof. Did you ever get to meet Proof?
No, before I met Proof, like, like what the situation happened.
Yeah.
But I met all his people, and Proof knew my brothers and them. 'Cause my brothers and them from Detroit, so it wasn't like I was out of the loop. I know, I knew everybody, but I didn't get a chance to kick it with Proof, like really like kick it to be like, oh, I know him, like that's the homie. Like I didn't get to know him like that, but it's a lot of respect going around both ways. So
You put out a video for Lane in the Cut off of Country Hound too. What was it like making that video, and how do you reflect back on that?
Yeah, that was a freestyle song that I did that M put in his book. The Way I Am, he said like, that beat was for M's album. Then I freestyled a song to it, and he's like that. He's never heard anybody that could do that. He said me and Jay-Z was the only ones that can just do that without writing something. So that was tight, it was cool to do the video. Like I said, I wasn't in my it was just cool. It was just working at that time. But doing the song was excellent though. Doing the song and watching M's reaction and watching Tracy's reaction and Paul watching everybody come in the studio, that was wild. You know what I mean? Because they thought I was just a gangster. They thought I was like like gangster rap, but they know I'm for real. I'm a lyricist. I got lyrics for real, and that changed the trajectory. That's what made my album come out. That's what made my EP come out, and then had M almost finished mixing my double CD. We was just about done with my double CD until I got in trouble.
Wow.
And you put out Country Hound 3 as well that had Young Buck on it as well.
Yeah. County Hound 3, they had Young Buck. Yeah, that's my boy on it. Yeah.
I was working with Buck.
Buck is cool, man. I know Buck, you know what I'm saying, for a while, so it was cool just to do. I got a couple of songs with Buck. I don't know, maybe like 2 of them came out, but I got a couple of songs with Buck though. Buck, one of my, especially at that point, that was one of my favorite artists. I felt like his message in music was like my message in music. Like we both Pac babies. You know what I'm saying? Like my favorite rapper all the time always go be Pac. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Pac baby, so. That's Pac like my Diddy. For dudes who ain't had, you coming up in the 90s, you ain't had no father figure, no real. I should just listen to Pac to know what. Okay, I can't be no punk. If Pac said this, Pac said you poke your chest out and handle it. So any given, any situation, that's how I move. You can ask anybody to know me. That's what I literally would just be like. I would tell people, what would Pac do? You think Pac would do that? Hell no, I ain't doing it.
No, I agree with you. I grew up loving it too. Me Against the World is my favorite Pac album.
There we go.
And
shit.
That's the one that I felt like I learned the most from.
Exactly.
Me Against the World is one of my favorites too. With Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me, Machiavelli. I love Apocalypse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for my niggas, you know what I'm saying? And we got the chance to talk to a lot of his family. Shout out to Mopreem. He's a real one. Like for real.
Yeah, I know Mopreem. I know Mopreem. I know Mopreem. I know Edie. I know No. I like Instagram with Napoleon, you know what I'm saying? But
Napoleon, shout out to Napoleon. He's cool.
I haven't met him in person, but I would love to meet Napoleon because I like the way Napoleon think. But I know the Outlaws. I definitely got love for the Outlaws for sure. The Outlaws was rolling with Buck a lot before, so you know what I'm saying? I got a chance to meet the Outlaws.
Yep. They did a tape too together. I remember
that too. Most definitely.
Do you still perform? You don't know?
All the time, I got to.
Yeah.
I got to,
Okay.
That's the song that I got to perform. That's what anytime I do a show, they want to hear that song, so that's cool.
So tell us about this new music you're working on.
This new music is crazy. This really gonna be but this is my debut album. Everything else I've been doing been mixtapes. Even if it's been putting out through independent labels or doing whatever, everything's just been like, mixtape, just building up my name. And now I feel like I'm gonna drop a real project. And it's crazy. I don't know how to describe it, and everybody go say their project is crazy. But this shit right here is crazy for real. Like when you listen to it, you go feel like it's like if you put on like a timeless piece of music, It's been a long time coming, so it gotta be crazy as hell. It's gonna be a lot of surprises on that too, that, people gonna be like, oh shit. And I ain't talking about like old, verses from somebody from 2010 or something. I'm something like it's gonna be some real surprises on there that y'all gonna rock with.
Right, right. And speaking of your song, man, bitch nigga, I like that bitch nigga. Yo,
good
tell
luck,
us a
man.
little bit with the bitch nigga, like for real, like that shit's hard, bro.
Oh man, that's in this documentary that we almost finished wrapping up. I've been doing the documentary. It's called a County Hound documentary, so it's bringing you from there to now. It's, it's showing like different show footage, street footage, studio footage. It's just it's tight. So that's gonna be on the soundtrack for it. My boy Rick and I did that beat too. It was just me warming up, man. That shit. I was just thinking about all the different people. That's just bitches, they just act like bitches and busters,
right.
So, and I was watching that the news clip came on and they was talking about, they showed the fool that killed Nipsey. And I was like, damn, that nigga's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was some bitch shit. Like, I don't know him personally, say he a bitch, but I'm saying like that was some, in my mind, like, damn, that was some bitch shit right there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And it just made me start thinking about all the people I lost, that was close to me, you know what I'm saying? And then I just started kicking that record, It was just, that was pretty much it.
So you told me ahead of time you were working on this documentary.
Yeah.
When is that expected?
I want to have it come out like the end of October. With have it come out with the soundtrack for it at the same time.
Okay.
And put it out there, do something different because I'm like I'm not from the era of like floss, like, oh, I gotta be on social media or whatever. Like you see me, when you see me, you're gonna see me, you know what I'm saying? I got shit I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? In real life, I'm making real moves. I got businesses and I'm doing things, but you'll be able to see what I'm doing as far as that's what people be asking me, like, man, we want to see more of what you on. So I'm gonna show you that through documentaries. I'm gonna do like little short films. I'm gonna do like stuff with videos that show like showcase acting stuff. Like, I did the TV series like that 90 Day Fiance. A lot of people recognize me from that shit too. So it's like, I'm gonna really put it out there to people what I do more than just rapping or doing like a publicity stunt because I can't do goofy shit,
So what's what's the favorite venue you've ever performed in?
Let's see, favorite venue I performed in. Let me see my favorite. Yeah, that's a good one, dog. My favorite, I'm gonna say, was probably my very first show in OC. That's probably my favorite show of all time because it was, I don't even remember what the fuck it was, like, but it was like outside and it was like, dog, you couldn't see the whole it was like just people. This shit was crazy. And I did the same song like 6 times and everybody just kept going crazy and crazy and crazy and crazy. And that kind of kicked off how my career has been. And that shit, I felt like I was like Jimi Hendrix or something. Like I felt like larger than life at that moment. And there's nothing that's ever, because that surprised me. So now I expect like for things to move like that. So that was probably the biggest thing, that like my favorite show, because that, to get that type of love from where you live at is crazy too. Because a lot of people, they get hate from where they live at. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But would that be your personal highlight? Would that be your personal highlight? My next question was, what's your personal highlight in your career of music?
My personal highlight is giving my mama my first like multi-platinum plaque from the real thing. Like, to see my mother took me to go turn myself in when I was 18, you know what I'm saying? So I had to go turn myself in for some robberies and some shit. So I'm just always giving her a disappointment, you know what I'm saying? So like the smile on her face, like that was probably my biggest moment because, she saw I did something like legit, like she saw I did something and I stuck to it. And that's what she said, like, I stuck to it and it was important. And now I'm somebody she can brag on instead of have to worry about all the time. So that's probably my biggest moment ever for me.
Right. That's dope, man, because I mean, I lost my mom, so I can feel that, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, that's anybody's accomplishment being a child, you know what I'm saying, of a from a
You want to
parent.
make your mom proud.
Right, you got to make your mom proud, like for real. I wanted to get back to the re-up, man, because it's always one of my favorites. We ride for fucking Shady with Obi Trice and fucking produced by Alchemist.
Boy,
Like the way Alchemist works now, and now, you know what I'm saying, seeing he was coming off of that tree with him and all y'all. Like I wasn't working with him, and just tell us any gems with Alchemist, man.
One of the coolest dudes that I ever met in the industry, straight up. Al is super solid. He a real dude. He ain't no slouch, and he work hard. You know what I mean? Al is his shit cold, man. Like me and Alchemist got a gang of songs. We got a song called Screech. That's the song that got me signed. Like I did that song when I came out to New York in Quiet Studios with Dart and all them, and we did Screech, and that, you know, it kicked it off right there. Like, so me and Alchemist got some jams, but we ride for Shady. I came in our spot. I went in there. I was doing something with Prodigy too with him, because from Mobb Deep, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? One of the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? I did a couple of joints with Prodigy over there, so we was chilling, and I was in Al's studio, and he had this beat, and I'm like, this shit cold. You know what I'm saying? So Al like, let me see what you got. Let me see what you gonna do. So I just did that shit real quick. I did the hook and my verse, and then Dart and I, we slid over to either Lil Wonder studio or whatever, Wyclef and them, or like Devo Springsteen or something, because I did this song with like John Legend or something. So we left there because I didn't even finish that. And then Al hit back like, yo, we just heard that verse, and Hook's like, this shit crazy. He wanna lay something. I'm like, hell yeah. And he just flipped the same hook that I laid down. And then, you know, that was it. Cause I'd already seen Obi and kicked it with Obi, but ain't nobody heard no music. You know what I mean? They just knew I was just a cool dude that was just chilling over there. But then he was like, oh shit, hell yeah. Then we started doing songs like a motherfucker after that shit. But we ride for Shady. That's one of my favorite songs. That shit go hard right there.
Mine's too. It's one of my favorite songs on that album. Yes, like, I ain't gonna lie, that like the one with you, I love the You Don't Know, but I love Jimmy Kirkhorn. I like Jimmy Kirkhorn, and I liked, you know what I'm saying, the one with Stat Crow too. I can't fucking think of the fucking name of it. It was just him.
You got the CV right in front of you.
By My Side.
By My Side. Fucking By My Side was my shit. I was like, we ride for Shady, and By My Side was too unique. I was surprised they didn't have no video for it, because I was just like, yo, these shits is hard. And working with Bobby Creek and all that. Was you like, because this, I'm thinking about it, like, was you like, I wasn't just working with Bobby Creek and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was it being with him? Because he was so dope too. He was coming
Bobby
off that
Creek
branch.
was my homeboy. As far as on the label, as far as artists, that was probably the closest homie that I had was Creek. You know what I'm saying? Me and Creek. Because at first, like, ain't nobody like me. You know what I mean? Because they felt like I was taking a shine. You know what I mean? Because I came in and was like, okay, I'm on 8 songs on the re-up. I got my joint out. You know what I'm saying? My EP came out and this. So it's like, it wasn't like it wasn't like super cool like that. But then the way I was moving, I'm from Southside Chicago, so I move differently. Like, I speak like this when people see me, but I move way differently. You know what I'm saying? So people knew they couldn't. They knew they had to approach me a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm always good, like, for sure. And me and Creek just had a heart-to-heart one day in Detroit. And he was just like, you know, I ain't really want to fuck with you like that because I'm like, why this nigga taking how you getting all these spots? How you.
Right.
And I'm like, shit, it's cool. I'm glad you telling me, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't like sucker shit already. Somebody tell me. He's like, but he said, when I heard you on this song, I'm like, I get it. I get why they going with him first. It's supposed to be that way. I get it. And after that day, that became like one of my closest homeboys on that whole squad. And me and Creek was thick as thieves. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool. And Creek dope as fuck. He got bars. He got style. Creek a raw ass rapper. Even today, Creek a raw ass rapper. Straight up.
Creek is raw, man. Because I was like, yo, he's dope, man. Like I already seen like the roster. Y'all came from like the original Shady roster, so I was like, yo, I can't wait to see what they're gonna have. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us as fans of this M and all y'all, we was just like, yo, we see 50 doing it. We see Obi coming out with the cheers, and then he's coming out with the other, with the other album, which Crying Out came out. And you did the remix, you know what I'm saying? And all these gems was coming out. You know, Stat Quo we were still looking for Stat Quo. Like, what was one of the songs? And I love saying this, right? What was one of the songs that you was like, damn, I wish I would have got on by your time period on Shady that you could have probably got on?
I don't think, like, bro, I got on everything. Like, what I could say is a couple of things. Is like, I wish that I didn't listen to niggas in my circle and just listen to the other people, because I was supposed to be on the Amy Winehouse Go to Rehab remix before they put Jay on it. Niggas were sending that to me, and I didn't do it because my partners was like, oh, it's gonna make you look like a junkie. And then the niggas like, but you pop pills all day. And I'm like, and that was dumb as fuck because that was dumb. Like, I feel like a dumbass on that move. That was dumb. And then I passed up on Amusement Park beat from like 50 it's a couple of beats. I had them first. And I was like, oh yeah, and I just didn't. And then, so that was crazy. And that's happened like a couple of times when I called Dart and he just laughed like, damn, dog, that's cold, you know? Wow. And let's see, I had a song that M did the beat. It was supposed to be it was a grand slam. Jimmy Iovine picked it. Let's go. We go take this. I said, nah. It was a song called High Speeds. It's about a car. It was a crazy ass song. But I said, nah, because the homies was talking to me, and I'm like, yeah, I want to come up with this street approach look instead of going whoop-de-whoop. That was a mistake. You know what I'm saying? That was another one that I should have did, But
right, just about having the beats. I was about to say having the beats like Amusement Park and then being on Rehab, the remix. Like that's crazy. Like you said you had almost like some beats, man. I know that's crazy especially when the beats, because I remember like Jay-Z passed off of The Potion, you know what I'm saying, from Ludacris. You know what I mean? D12 with, you know what I'm saying, in the club.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was crazy.
That one too, and
that's crazy.
I have a personal one that I fucked up on once back when I was doing an A&R and I was a mixtape DJ back in the day. DJ Ill Will offered me a chance to get Tyga for $500 on my song. And I said I don't think Tyga's gonna be the one to blow out a Young Money.
Damn. I remember I worked with Tyga when he first came out. I forgot, it was a song with Tyga. Was it Wayne? It was a couple. I don't remember what that record was. Yeah. You should have worked with Tyga. Tyga actually dope too.
Yeah, he is dope. He's dope.
I've been kicking myself for that moment for the longest time. And my second other thing, I missed a phone call one day from somebody at Interscope, and I called back and they're like, "Oh, there's 1,000 people that work here. We don't know who it was." So they had to call the dispatch.
Dang.
Fuck.
I got one for y'all. This was the worst thing. I always feel like I need to tell, man. When Shade 45 was, bubbling, right? Mm-hmm. And I always wanted to be one of the voices on there, and I almost got to be on there, right? Because they was talking about underrated rappers. There's like, who you feel like should be an underrated rapper? I'm just like, oh shit, I'm on fucking Shade 45. I might be on Shade 45. And the woman asked me, she's like, so who you gonna pick for, underground rappers? I just picked out of nowhere Don Tripp. She was like, who? She was like, yo, call back. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that's fucking crazy. Like, for real. Just thinking shit like that. You just be like, yo.
Cassius, you mentioned to me that you're often up in Seattle. What do you do up here?
I handle my business.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just playing. I got family up there. I'm just messing around.
I'm down there pretty much every weekend with football season coming. So if you're ever in town, let me know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, my daughter out there. So
Yeah, we'll get a beer. We'll get a beer together.
For sure.
Hey, I was about to tell you too, man. Like you're a Corrupt fan, and shout out to Corrupt. We almost had him on the show, right? We still gonna get him on the show, right? So, what was one of your favorite songs from Corrupt? Mine's always Dog Pound Gangsters.
Let's see, from Corrupt. It's gonna have to be the song that I probably listen to all the time. It's a couple of them, but I'm gonna go with "It's On Sight." I love that shit. I love that song.
A good one.
Okay,
I love that shit.
My favorite verse is
so hard.
My favorite verse is probably the one on Doggy Style. It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Oh yeah.
And Curly talking about a bitch, she'd always think broke.
Yeah. My
Shit.
favorite verse from Corrupt, probably one of his freestyles from the Wake Up Show. He used to fucking go insane.
They forget about those.
Just to hear that. I used to tune in just to hear that. And then I remember my boy Gordon would call in, and I was supposed to battle at Hotel Nico for $1 million. They had the radio supposed to do it, and I was supposed to battle Corrupt. It was like, yeah, my boy used to call in. He's like, my boy Ramon, he's like, he can beat anybody. And he would call in to the radio station, like, I'm telling you, can't nobody beat him in freestyling. And But then I later on met Corrupt. That shit was like a dream come true. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
that shit cold, boy. Corrupt. I don't think people understand. Like, that man can really rap for real. Like,
yeah,
he's
been on a lot of. He's been on a lot of songs too. He has been on a lot of songs, a lot of features.
When you work as hard as they do, and him, Daz, Snoop, they're always working so hard, doing so many songs. They're bound to be out there so hard. Or like on every record coming out, they got so much work. And it's one of our dream interviews to have Corrupt on here one day. So that's
right.
We try to make that happen. Manifest to me.
Right, we manifested that for real. Yo, I wanted to say this because this is Cashis the Volume 4, like up the street, E40.
Oh, yeah.
How was it working with E40?
Slaps, man. Shout out to Stressmatic
too. Like, how was it working with him too?
Oh man, I've been knowing Stress. You know, I'm a alumni of the Federation, man. That's the group they from the Federation. You know, Stress, Go, Dunya, them Rit Rock. So I'm like one of they. You know, I'm a honorary member. I'm from the Kendall Federation camp. So you know, it's always cool to work with Stress. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's always great to work with 40. 40 was one of my favorite artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, 40 are cold as hell. He got something that's new out called The Bay right now. It's super crazy. His shit always go down. So it's dope.
Hard.
And we like a lot of E40 stuff because our boy Hatch 86 does all the filming and the videos. So.
Oh shit, that's tight. He be doing videos too.
He'd be doing E40 music videos and 2 short music videos out in the Bay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to work with him, man.
Yeah, his name's Hatch 86.
Hatch 86, yep.
Yeah.
And I almost got the chance to talk to his sister, Sugar T. Shout out to Sugar T. Which Sugar motherfucking T. She's hard too.
Yeah, I met her.
Almost about to get to meet her. I'm still supposed to meet her. Shout out to DJ Pizzo because I'm still supposed to, talk to her one day. It's gonna be one of my dreams. Hey, what are your favorite E40 songs?
Let's see, which one do I like? Dustin the Disgusted because Pac on it.
Yeah,
anything Pac on it, I'm gonna rock with that. And I like before I be listening to it, I be listening to Behind Gates with Ice Cube. but it's another one that is slipping my mind right now. But those two, but it's another one that he got that like I always listen to it. It's like it's a banging ass E40 song too.
Dusted and Disgusted.
Man.
Oh yeah, I go with Dusted and Disgusted.
Disgusted,
And I hope I don't go back to
slanging. Yeah, that shit raw. That shit raw for sure.
Hey, we should probably wrap this up though. We got keep it under a certain amount of time in order to ever be able to release it on the internet. So,
yeah, for sure.
if you can on Instagram, you can only release a 1 hour video. So
yeah,
we're running. By the time I add highlights and stuff, we're running close to that. So one thing,
we go the biggest regret in music. Ain't nobody heard this. I walked out of $1 million deal to go sign with Shady, but it's not really a regret because I got to make lifelong friends with Eminem and Paul Rosenberg and Doc Park and everybody over there. And I made my $1 million anyway, so that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I was gonna get it all up front at SRC, and then deals on the table. And then the manager walked me out to still go to Shady, and then I had to work harder for it to get it. But you know, so in the end, as far as regrets, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, you still might get that call from Interscope. The homie still might be able to do that Shade 4-5 thing, you know what I'm saying? In the end, I still made that $1 million regardless, you know what I'm saying? It just took a little bit more work, but I still got it anyway, so it's cool.
Right, I was about to ask you, man, like with the Shady Records, and they got Ease Mill right now. Like, what you think about that right now with Ease Mill, man? It sounds like he's going to be a lyrical beast.
Anything that the camp pushing, I'm supporting. Ease Mill, you got the home camp forget about West Side Boogie. You know what I'm saying? West
Side Boogie, another one.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this tight. Like it's tight. Everybody just gotta just push. It's just rappers at a different place. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta really just flood the market right now. So I think that we in good hands. Everything is in good hands right now.
Right.
Perfect. We'll probably call it off of air there unless you got anything you want to plug.
Man, I just wanted to say, Bogus Brand, y'all know what's up, man. With BBG, Bogus Brand Entertainment. You know, we're gonna be looking for artists. After the top of the year, we're gonna start bringing some more people on. I got a group called the Roll Up Click. It's me and my boy Chronic, and then it's going to tell a whole bunch of the different homies that I got. So we just gonna put out like these tapes and these projects and build up until we drop a project towards the end of next summer. And yeah, the Cashis documentary, and then we got the Cashis mini movie that's gonna be coming out. It's gonna be like a loosely based autobiography with a bunch of prop weapons and all that type of stuff, and stories that are loosely based. Let's just say we just go make up all the stories, but it just go act like it's from my real lifetime. How about that?